回来，再来看南加州社区方面的消息。佛涛和合国际书法巡展12月16日至22日期间，于洛杉矶尤伯林达市尼克松总统博物馆正式展出。巡展第一天，主办方中国艺术国际行、尼克松基金会共同举行了盛大的开幕式。中国著名书法家、国学大师佛涛上人，中国艺术国际行共同主席龚廷玉，中国驻洛杉矶总领事张平，洛克菲勒家族成员 Steve G. Rockefeller Jr.、 尼克松家族成员 Devin Nixon 等各界人士100多人出席了巡展开幕式。本次展演适逢中美建交40周年，巡展共展出了佛涛上人近年来创作的80多幅书法精品。作者以其炉火纯青的艺术造诣，向美国人民展示了延续数千年的中国书法艺术之精髓。
由中国艺术国际行、尼克松基金会、紫金万象北京国际文化传播中心和尼克松博物馆共同主办的佛涛和合国际书法巡展，12月16日至22日在洛杉矶尤伯林达市尼克松博物馆正式展出。中国著名书法家、国学大师佛涛上人，中国艺术国际行共同主席龚廷玉，中国驻洛杉矶总领事张平，洛克菲勒家族成员史蒂芬 C. Rockefeller Jr.、 尼克松家族成员戴维·尼克森等各界人士100多人出席了巡展开幕式。本次巡展展出了佛涛上人近年来创作的80多幅书法精品，其中有著名的拓碑书法作品《中国梦》，该作品曾经搭乘神舟号宇宙飞船遨游太空。
中国梦呢，是因为当时神舟9号、神舟10号当时都要把文化力带上去，所以就请我提了一个总的题目《中国梦》。我提完以后呢，由中国碑刻的非物质传人葛老先生刻了一块很大很大的碑，我们今天看到的就是那个碑上拓下来的。这3个字呢，神舟9号、神舟10号全部都上了宇宙，围绕地球300圈。同时呢，也出了一张我们国家级别最高的邮票，叫国务院红票。就整个这张邮票是由大概这么厚的一个国务院的文件来规定的，包括每一个尺寸、每一个颜色、每一个距离非常严格，就是不是邮电总局他们可以过问的。然后也是我们国家邮票第一次在国际上发布的。
佛涛上人是中国著名东晋书法家书圣王羲之传人，资深国学大家，也是立体汉字的首创者。其门人弟子英才辈出，京东集团、阿里巴巴多位高层领袖皆为其弟子，钱伟长、钱学森、程思远等著名学者皆对其甚为推重。
像师父的书法呢，是真正的中国文化传承。我是师父的弟子之一，师父的弟子呢是遍布天下各行各业。师父是王羲之的后人，所以他的书法当中有圣人王羲之的传承，再加上他自己的这个修为和他自己的创作融入其中，所以非常的丰富多彩。每一个书法呢都呈现了当时的恢宏，加上他现在的体悟，所以而且充满了正能量。
巡展期间，适逢中美建交40周年，佛涛上人以其炉火纯青的艺术造诣，向美国人民展示了延续数千年的中国书法艺术之精髓，并向尼克松基金会捐赠了其书法巨作，让中国艺术家的墨宝永驻中美友谊的殿堂。汉天卫视记者吕立川，洛杉矶尤伯林达市采访报道。
再来看其他方面的消息。当地时间周四，俄罗斯首都莫斯科市中心发生一起枪击案件，截至目前导致1人死亡，5人受伤。据悉，枪击事件发生在位于莫斯科市中心的俄罗斯联邦安全局大楼附近。目击者称，在当地时间下午5点40分左右开始听到了枪声，并持续大约1分半钟。随后，大批警察及救护车赶到现场。枪手已经被警方击毙， 身份仍然有待确认。
This incident took place on Thursday evening, and it took place right in the heart of Moscow when, as the security services here put it, an unknown assailant opened fire right in front of the main building of Russia's intelligence services. Now, there was some dramatic video that came out of this incident where you could hear volleys of gunfire in and around that area and then people running away. There's other video showing some what appear to be police special forces also gathering in that area, of course, also with weapons in hand. Now, the Russian security services are saying that at least one member of Russia's intelligence service, the FSB, was killed in this attack, and at least one other member of the FSB was severely wounded. Now, the Russians are saying that the assailant was neutralized, as they put it. So far, they've not named any sort of identity, and they've not named any sort of motive either. But of course, in the aftermath of that incident, the entire area around that intelligence service on Lubyanka Square here in central Moscow was completely cordoned off. No one was able to get in and out as that police operation there unfolded. Now, the day that this took place is highly significant because it was the same day that Russian President Vladimir Putin held his annual very big press conference here in Moscow. And one of the things that he said there is he said the most difficult things in his entire time in power was dealing with major terror attacks. Again, at this point in time, it's unclear whether this was a terror attack, but it certainly was an event that shook the Russian capital to the bone. Fred Pleitgen, Moscow.
英格兰银行周三证实，今年决策会后新闻发布会内容在正式发布前，系统遭到入侵，信息外泄给借此获利的高频交易员。该银行已将相关调查结果交移给英国金融行为监管局进行后续侦查。英格兰银行周三表示，经过内部快速调查后，某家第三方讯息供应商在决策会后给记者会正式发布前，在未经中行的同意下，将备用的语音讯息泄露给了其他外部客户。不过，英格兰银行以法规因素为由，拒绝透露这家供应商的公司名字。
This was first reported by the Times of London, and it was really unprecedented for a central bank to have this happen, just as you said, that the audio files, so typically any announcements, a press conference, for example, by Mark Carney, the president of the central bank here, anything that he says publicly is usually shown via video, but they always had a backup audio feed. Now, that audio feed was a little bit faster than the video feed. So what this third-party supplier was allegedly selling between $2,500 to £5,000, access hedge funds could get access to this audio file. With that extra 5 to 8 seconds, they could make trades on any news that might be coming, any indication, for example, of interest rates changing. Now, that can make you a lot of money if you're in these high-frequency, high-speed traders on things like currencies and bond markets, and that could be millions of dollars, and it's a huge advantage if you have those 5 to 8 seconds ahead of everybody else. So, the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK is now investigating this because although high-frequency trading is not illegal, if they had this sort of 5 to 8 second advantage on everybody else, that might be considered potentially having some sort of insider information. Of course, the bank is investigating this third-party supplier. They've cut them off entirely, and now there are calls for the bank's chief operating officer to resign or to be fired because how this could be happening under her watch, and according to the Times, it's been going on since at least the beginning of the year, and how a third-party supplier was selling this allegedly with the pitch that you would get information faster than everybody else. But it is definitely putting a dark mark on the last few weeks of Mark Carney's tenure. He is stepping down on January 31st. Not exactly a good look to have as you walk out the door.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, you spoke a bit about the fallout, but you were talking about insider trading. To have this kind of advantage, it's very well known that if you are paying for information that you shouldn't have, that there are going to be legal ramifications here. And this is what's kind of perplexing about this whole thing.
Yeah, it is perplexing because it's not exactly insider information like from somebody who's working somewhere, working in the bank that's telling you what's going to happen. It's literally just having an advantage of hearing something ahead of what everybody else might be able to hear and what everybody else will hear just 5 to 8 seconds ahead. So I do think how the FCA rules on this will be very important, very interesting to see. Now, obviously, the bank doesn't want anything like this happening again, but it will be very interesting to see how they rule it and how they rule just having information a few seconds before everyone else, whether that constitutes some sort of insider trading.
英国议会于当地时间20日投票表决，以358票对234票通过首相约翰逊达成的脱欧协议，确认英国将在明年1月31日脱离欧盟。首相约翰逊提交给议会表决的这一脱欧协议草案，将禁止政府将脱欧过渡期延长到2020年之后。不过，反对约翰逊此举的议员表示，这一草案令英国未来增加不确定性。而且英国需要多年才能与欧盟达成贸易协议。
This was a stripped-back Queen's speech, less pageantry than the last one the Queen delivered just 2 months ago before the election. The content was pretty similar, though. Important to remember, the speech is the Prime Minister speaking through the Queen. The speech is written by the government. The Queen reads it out, detailing the government's legislative intent over the coming Parliament. And this one continued Boris Johnson's recent post-election theme of focusing on what he says the British people voted for, the British people's priorities, or at least the priorities of those in working class seats who recently voted Conservative for the first time and helped him secure that 80-seat majority in Parliament. The focus was very much government services, in particular the National Health Service, and of course delivering Brexit. Speaking after the Queen, the Prime Minister continued his recent strong line in humility and determination in delivering what he says people voted for.
I say to the people of this country, we owe you. We know it, and we will deliver. And we have now the energy, we have the ideas, we have the mandate, we have the people, and we will spare no effort to fulfill that mandate. And after the dither, after the delay, after the deadlock, after the paralysis and the platitudes, the time has come for change and the time has come for action. And it is action that the British people will get.
On Friday, the government will bring its European Union Withdrawal Agreement Bill back to the House of Commons. This is the piece of legislation that seeks to ratify Boris Johnson's negotiated deal with the European Union. The withdrawal agreement is often referred to as the divorce settlement, and the divorce is due to kick in on January the 31st, at which point Britain will enter what's often described as the transition or implementation period. We know this legislation will now also seek to prohibit an extension of that 11-month period. Boris Johnson had promised there would be no extension. Now he wants to enshrine that in law. It matters because it means the EU and the UK will have only until the end of 2020, 1 calendar year, to negotiate the better part of their future trading relationship. That's a powerful statement of intent, according to the Prime Minister's fans, or a delusional timetable, according to his critics, who fear it means the dreaded no-deal Brexit scenario is now back on the table. Expect heated debate on that point in the Commons on Friday. Phil Black, CNN, London.
根据日前一个非营利机构的统计数据，仅在2019年，美国就有超过200名警察选择了自杀。警察团员人员的精神状况引发了许多部门的关注。由于缺乏完善的心理帮助，以及随着美国越来越严重的社会暴力，警察时常处于超高压的工作状态。在这之后，没有宣泄的渠道。相关机构和专家呼吁，警察团队需要更多专业的医疗帮助，维持心理健康。
Sliding into a cruiser, Baltimore Police Sergeant Richard Watts starts a new road.
Showing up now for work every day is a daily reminder of how fortunate I really was.
It's his second day back after a 5-month break taken in part to recover from alcoholism.
I've been subjected to horrifying situations. I've been in a few car accidents, been shot at a couple times. I didn't deal with it. I used alcohol as my way to detach.
In 2018, stress from the job collided with heartbreak at home. Illness forced his wife onto life support. Then, in October of that year, Sergeant Watts drove drunk and was arrested.
And at that point in my life, everything was broken.
Sergeant Watts turned to Vernon Herron.
Just a reminder to you that there is help if you need it.
Director Herron runs the BPD Officer Safety and Wellness section, a program to identify and help officers who may be struggling.
How you doing?
Since the program started roughly 3 years ago, more than 400 officers have reached out. The focus is simple: early intervention and overall health and wellness.
Imagine these officers who were alcoholics, or these officers who were involved in traumatic events, and they never got the help, and they're out there protecting the public. What could happen to them?
The possible outcome is chilling. More than 200 current or former police officers took their own lives in 2019, up from 172 reported in 2018. That's according to Blue Help, a nonprofit group that tracks officer suicides. Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison sees more departments like his finally taking action.
It's a changing dynamic, and yes, departments are spending more time on officer wellness because we are all talking about suicides and how officers find themselves having mental health issues.
The reality is it could be anyone. That's the truth.
Former BPD Deputy Commissioner Jason Johnson developed the idea for the program and now works with police around the country through the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund.
We had this observation that there wasn't a lot of effort being put to helping the police officers there deal with the trauma.
The kind of pain that gripped Sergeant Watts, who lost his wife in January. Though he's on a journey without her, Sergeant Watts knows he's far from alone.
I've been given a second chance, and I'm trying to take full advantage of that.
In Baltimore, I'm Whitney Wild.
临近年末，谷歌日前统计了2019年度人们在卫生健康方面搜索最多的10个关键问题。今年人们最关注的健康问题主要集中在什么引起了肾结石、什么是 HPV、如何降低胆固醇、每天人应该摄入多少卡路里、生酮是什么，以及如何降低血压等问题上。
In 2019, there was a wide variety of what we wanted to know. Here's the bottom half of the top 10 most asked questions of Dr. Google and our answers based on medical experts' information. Kidney stones are solid pieces of material that can form in your kidneys when you have high levels of certain minerals and salts in your urine. The Mayo Clinic says there's no definite single cause, but certain factors like genetics and diet can increase your risk. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is spread through intimate contact and is so common, almost everyone will get at least one type of it in their lives. The CDC says 90% of the time it's harmless, but the other 10% of cases can cause certain cancers. The American Heart Association suggests keeping a healthy lifestyle. Don't smoke, consume a moderate amount of calories, exercise. In some cases, it can be genetic. Unfortunately, there's no easy answer to this. It's based on each individual. But the U.S. dietary guidelines suggest anywhere from 1,600 to 2,000 calories per day for women and 2,000 to 3,000 for men. Once again, this depends on several factors. But the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism says, on average, an adult can break down one 12-ounce beer, one 5-ounce glass of wine, or 1.5 ounces of 80-proof distilled liquor per hour. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Here are the top 5 questions asked of Dr. Google in 2019 and our answers based on medical experts' information. Hiccups often start out of nowhere. The U.S. National Library of Medicine notes they often happen when you eat too quickly, drink alcohol, or are feeling nervous or excited. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 8% of people in the U.S. get the seasonal flu. The duration depends on how bad the virus is. Most people can get by with over-the-counter fever reducers, while some will need an antiviral from their doctor. Just like they can start out of nowhere, they can go away just as randomly. Most of the time, they will stop after a few minutes. However, if they persist, see your doctor. There is no shortage of at-home remedies passed down through the generations. Of course, not all of those will work. It's the top diet-related term for the second year in a row. The diet is high in fats, moderate in protein, and very low in carbs, which forces the body to go into ketosis, breaking down ingested and stored body fat, then using that as energy. This was the #1 medical question people wanted to know about, and no wonder. According to the CDC, 1 in 3 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. Eating a healthy diet with less sodium, watching your weight, and relieving stress can all help reduce blood pressure. For today's Health Minute, I'm Jeremy Roth.
以上就是今天的汉天新闻，感谢您的收看，我们下次再见。